My diary had always been more than just a collection of entries. It was the portal to a universe I meticulously constructed, a private realm where my imagination held absolute dominion. Within its worn pages, the mundane realities of my existence dissolved, replaced by elaborate narratives of espionage, daring international intrigue, and the sophisticated allure of artistic life in foreign cities. I crafted characters, enigmatic spies with shadowy pasts, charming rogue archaeologists, and romantic figures who embodied the deepest, often unexpressed, desires of my heart. These weren't confessions of infidelity or a prelude to action, they were intricate symphonies of thought, meticulously detailed explorations of human psychology and dramatic potential. Liam, my partner of 3 years, was the cornerstone of my grounded reality. His presence was a source of comfort, a steady hand in the ebb and flow of life, and I believed our relationship was built on an unshakable foundation of mutual understanding and trust. The disruption began innocuously enough, during a long-overdue decluttering of our attic. Liam, always eager to contribute, unearthed an old, forgotten wooden chest from a dusty corner. Inside, nestled amongst fading photographs and mementos of a shared past, lay my hidden journal. A wave of apprehension washed over me. It was that diary, the one brimming with my most adventurous and frankly outlandish fantasies, a clandestine vault of my inner life. I attempted to dismiss it as mere childhood scribbles, a phase of overactive imagination, but Liam's curiosity, once piqued, was a force of nature. He lifted the journal, its leather cover cool beneath his touch. A faint smile played on his lips as he began to read. Initially, he seemed amused by the vivid accounts of clandestine rendezvous and thrilling escapes I'd penned. His brow furrowed with a mixture of curiosity and mild bewilderment as he encountered a particularly detailed passage about a fictional encounter with a charismatic smuggler, complete with descriptions of moonlit escapades and whispered secrets. He inquired about the identities of these imagined companions, seeking context for the elaborate narratives I had woven. I reiterated that these were purely fictional creations, the product of a creative mind exercising its freedom, but my explanations seemed to dissipate into the dusty attic air, unconvincing to his increasingly focused gaze. Liam's demeanor began to shift. The casual curiosity morphed into something more intense, a keen, almost analytical scrutiny of the pages. He started to draw parallels, tenuous yet persistent, between my fictional scenarios and the actual events of my life. A narrative about a secret mission undertaken in a European capital would be juxtaposed with a weekend trip I'd taken, prompting him to question my real activities. The imagined clandestine meetings on specific dates became points of interrogation regarding my actual schedule. His inquiries evolved from simple questions to veiled accusations, suggesting a hidden life I was deliberately concealing. The subtle insinuation was that my written worlds were not fantasies, but encrypted accounts of a separate existence. This suspicion gradually coalesced into a disturbing obsession. Liam began to suggest we play scenarios from my diary, a request that initially felt like an extension of our shared intimacy. However, his interpretation of these roles quickly deviated from playful role-playing. He started to embody the more controlling and manipulative aspects of the characters I had envisioned. He would insist I adopt the persona of a particular heroine, demanding I mimic her confidence or her secretive nature, not as an imaginative exploration, but as a literal command. His questions became less about understanding my creative process and more about extracting what he perceived as real information. He would probe for details about my imagined colleagues and romantic interests, displaying a possessiveness not towards me, but towards the narratives I had created. He was not simply curious, he was becoming a warden of my imagination. The most unnerving aspect was his growing jealousy, not of real people, but of the very characters I had brought to life on paper. He would become visibly agitated when reading about a particularly vivid romantic encounter, demanding to know what those imagined figures possessed that he lacked. My internal sanctuary, the place where I could freely explore and process complex emotions and ideas, was being systematically dismantled and rebuilt according to his warped perception. What began as an innocent sharing of my creative output had transformed into a terrifying situation where Liam was now the architect of my reality, compelling me to inhabit the very fantasies he had unearthed, twisting my imaginative escapes into a disturbing, inescapable performance. The safe space of my diary had become my prison, with Liam holding the keys to a reality I never intended to live. Let me know what you think of this story in the comments below. And don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to the channel. See you tomorrow.